if we don't become afraid of AI, if we embrace it and see how does it benefit, it's never going to replace the teacher, but it can enhance what goes on in the classroom, just like the laptop does, just like, our phone does. It enhances what we do if we do it correctly. And I think that's the stepping stones we have to take.
You're listening to the smartsocial.com podcast. I'm your host, Josh Ochs. This is our District Talk segment where we interview district leaders to learn how they're keeping students safe on social media so those students can someday shine online. Now, let's get back to the interview.
Hi, I'm CJ Anderson, Superintendent of the Elko County School District, located in rural Northeast Nevada. We have about 10,000 students across 24 unique school sites, including schools in traditional settings, combined K-12 schools, and one-room rural schoolhouses. And these schools are spread across more than 17,000 square miles, making us the fourth largest geographic school district in the contiguous United States.
Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Mark Marshall, Superintendent, Los Spanish Unified School District. We're in the Central Valley of California. We're the only school district in the city of Los Banos. We have 11,000 students and 16 campuses.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mervin Daugherty. I am the Superintendent of Schools for Chesterfield County Public Schools in Chesterfield, Virginia. We're located between Richmond and Petersburg, about 431 square miles. We have over 65,000 students and 67 schools.
How is your school district approaching AI tools like ChatGPT?
We are very much in the infancy stages of this. I'll be perfectly honest. We're developing a policy surrounding AI and ChatGPT, but the perspective that we're approaching it with is that it's a phenomenal resource and it's an incredible technology. It's going to continue to grow in capacity. And most importantly, it's an inevitable part of our current students' future education and careers. There are teams out there in other industries where AI is part of their team that they work with. Some people even directly report to AI. And so we need to have our kids be well-informed. And instead of focusing on how we can prevent people from cheating using AI, we need to focus on how we can teach our students to utilize it effectively, recognize its capabilities, also its limitations, be aware of its biases, and all other elements that are part of this big AI equation.
What's interesting is that I was just having this conversation with some colleagues. Our area of California, we're located in the Central Valley. We don't really see, it hasn't really exploded yet, but we have teachers, teams of teachers studying them. We want to get ahead of it before it, because at some point, it is going to migrate this way. And so we're trying to be a little bit aggressive as far as kind of incorporate that into our professional learning communities with our teachers that they work with, incorporating it there, kind of looking at different practices, people that are districts that are, piloting it, going out and looking at what they have to offer. But compared to some areas like the Southern California, maybe the Bay Area, like I said, the Central Valley is not as aggressive on that front.
When this first started to evolve, we met with several of our other large school divisions in the state. And we realized that we were all at different places, but we all had very good information for guidelines. So we collaborated with Enrico and with Virginia Beach and some of the smaller divisions who were all looking for some answers to help us start with some guidelines. So we wanted to really start some guidelines, get some feedback from our teachers, get feedback from students, get feedback from parents before we even started to try to develop a board policy, because we're not sure what the state or the federal government's going to do with the AI right now. We felt really good that there was collaboration, and we meet and talk with the other school divisions who are trying to develop this process as we are.
Are there any positive use cases that you've heard of from students or teachers around ChatGPT?
I was very pleased. On the very first day of school, I walked into one of our classrooms at one of our high schools, and this teacher has given me permission to share her name. It's Mrs. Miller, and she was embodying that exact approach towards ChatGPT. And after I talked to her later, she let me know that she recognizes students will be using ChatGPT to complete their English assignments. And so she wants them to know how to turn that into quality writing. So she provided students with a prompt that she entered into ChatGPT and the product that resulted. And she had them to, read it and say what they thought about it. And they all thought, man, that sounds robotic. It's uninteresting. It was supposed to be an advertisement for a travel company to do a trip to New York City. And she said, exactly. So we did this, and this is what ChatGPT gave us. That would be no good in the real world. No one would want to go to New York City based off of this. So what she then used that to do is to teach, how do you add voice to writing? How do you add interesting language and anecdotes? How do you add other personal touches to make something interesting so that you as a travel company would get people to utilize your product? And so students then took those things and adapted that to something that they thought would be interesting. And I just love that she wasn't worried about how do we stop ChatGPT from messing up the way we've always done things, to how do we take this resource and teach kids how to use it properly.
But some of the positive things I've seen, basically, it's more with teachers. I serve as an adjunct professor at one of the local universities here in town. And what's interesting, I got my first taste of a lot of the different programs that are out there. Some of the teachers were actually showing me some of the benefits to what it can do as far as like for grad students. So it's just interesting if you could take that with the adults and put that into our classrooms, what the possibilities could.
I've heard from our English departments where they encourage students to really push the envelope with what they're doing. Everybody's worried about the students, how they write their papers. And what they've been able to do is look at, to make sure that you really are digging into this assignment, show me the work, show me the drafts, show me. So there's a step series in helping kids become better writers. We've used AI for a long time in different forms. I mean, they use it, they're getting information all the time. They're looking at things. It's just expanding. And I think if we don't become afraid of AI, if we embrace it and see how does it benefit, it's never going to replace the teacher, but it can enhance what goes on in the classroom, just like the laptop does, just like our phone does. It enhances what we do if we do it correctly. And I think that's the stepping stones we have to take.
With regards to AI tools like ChatGPT, are you changing any of your techniques for grading students or the types of assignments being used in the classroom?
From our standpoint, again, we were very much in the infant stages of developing our policies and other guiding documents, of which our grading policy would be part of. So we're not doing anything district-wide as it relates to grading and assignments. However, we will heavily include our teachers in that effort. But one thing we are currently doing as we get started here is we do have a position that we love at our district called a district digital coach. And she does lots of PD with our teachers and staff on how to implement technology and instructional technology into the classroom. And she has multiple courses she's doing about AI and ChatGPT. And not only is this helping teachers who are already ready and willing to make that leap into using that, but it's also going to serve to help us identify ambassadors for when the time comes to make those more sweeping changes and those implementations of policies. We will have teachers and staff who are very comfortable with it and will back it up and will be able to help us kind of spread that across the whole district.
We're not at that point yet, but we want to try to get ahead of it. So we do have teachers, like cadres of individuals looking at that as far as our policies and trying to get ahead of it before it gets to be a little bit more prevalent in the school district.
Not at this time. We're staying the course with our grading system. I do think down the road there are going to be some tweaks to what we do, but if we remember, we use this as another tool to teach our students, and I think we'll be in good shape. We don't need to be creative about this. We need to be thoughtful, and let's use some common sense about using this.
Thanks for listening to our smartsocial.com podcast. I'm your host, Josh Ochs. This was our District Talk segment where we interview school district leaders to learn how they're keeping students safe on social media so those students can someday launch into their future by shining online. This episode was brought to you by our smartsocial.com VIP program. It's called the Very Informed Parent Program, which helps you engage your students with teen-led video lessons. Stay one step ahead with our premium parent newsletter and discover hidden features on trending apps on teens' phones and our 54 plus live parent and student friendly events every single year. You can click on the link below to chat with one of our team members if you want a free pass to our VIP program to support your community with our smartsocial.com resources. And if you're a district leader who has a success story, we would love to feature you on a future episode. You can click the links below to reach out. Thanks so much for listening, and we look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Have a great day.